Hi! Hello, V-Nation! Okay, kindly like, share, subscribe my YouTube channel. Okay, I'm here to discuss the nervous system. Okay, basically, right, it's because it's a community quarantine, so it is mandatory for us to share our knowledge to our students regarding about the human body and easiest way. Okay. For now, I'll be discussing about the nervous system. Okay, for the nervous system, there are two classification. You know for a fact, right, that is some form of what you call your um, peripheral together with the central nervous system. Okay, for the central nervous system, that is some form of what you call your brain. You know for a fact for the brain that there are three major regions of the brain. And what are those three major regions of the brain? So that's what you call your what you call this one? The cerebrum, cerebellum together with the brain stem. And there are five major divisions of your brain, and these are what you call your telencephalon, diencephalon, mesencephalon, metencephalon, myelencephalon. Okay, for the peripheral nervous system, okay, the other classification of your nervous system is the peripheral. Okay, for the peripheral nervous system, that is what? It is classified according to somatic nervous system and autonomic nervous system. For the somatic nervous system, that is some form of what you call your fight or flight reaction. Okay, and the other one is what you call your autonomic nervous system. For the autonomic nervous system, that is a form of what you call your what do you call this one? Your conserve energy or no spend of energy use, okay, or no expenditure of energy. Okay, and not only that, for the peripheral nervous system, this consisting mainly of what you call your sympathetic autonomic nervous system is classified into two. Okay, that's what you call your sympathetic nervous system together with your parasympathetic nervous system. Okay, for the sympathetic nervous system, okay, the site of inhibition is what you call your craniosacral, whereas the parasympathetic, that's what you call your thoracolumbar. And for the ratio of your preganglionic as your postganglionic is the ratio of your preganglionic for the sympathetic is 1:20. Whereas for the parasympathetic nervous system, that's 1:1, except cranial nerve number 10. Cranial nerve number 10 is the longest cranial nerve. Why is it so that it is the longest cranial nerve? It is because, as you can see in the parasympathetic nervous system, okay, the ratio is 1:1, except cranial nerve number 10, which is 1:800. Okay. Not only that, for the peripheral nervous system, that comprises also of what you call your spinal nerves. Okay. For the spinal nerves, there are 31 spinal nerves, and that is paired. And whereas for the cranial nerves, there are 12 cranial nerves, and for the 12 cranial nerves, there is a form of what you call mnemonic. Okay, or okay, for the spinal nerves, okay, there are 31 spinal nerves, okay, and that's what you call your cervical, thoracic, okay, cervical, thoracic, lumbar. Okay, for the continuation, okay, of the cranial nerves, okay, there are 12 cranial nerves, and the mnemonics for that is O, to touch and feel a good vein heaven. So basically, O, cranial nerve number 1 is what you call oculomotor. Cranial nerve number 2 is what you call your optic nerve. Cranial nerve number 3 is olfactory nerve. Then cranial nerve number 4 is trochlear nerve. Then cranial nerve number 5 is what you call your what do you call this? O to touch. So, trochlear trigeminal nerve. Then, cranial nerve number 6 is what we call abducens. Cranial nerve number 7 is what we call facial nerve. Then, cranial nerve number 8 is what we call your vestibulocochlear. So, other term for that is what we call acoustic nerve. Then, cranial nerve number 9 is glossopharyngeal nerve. Then, cranial nerve number 10 is vagus nerve. Then, cranial nerve number 11 is what you call your spinal accessory. And cranial nerve number 12 is hypoglossal nerve. So, these are what you call your simple, okay, human body, the easiest way how to memorize all those things, okay. For now, bye. Okay, so again, this is Venus, okay. So kindly like, share, and subscribe my YouTube channel. Bye.